Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, like these migrant children who were taken away from their parents and given unto another people, such as you so-called white people, you Edomites. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. As it said in that article, some of those parents heard their children screaming in the other room, and there shall be no might in thine hand. And what chance do these Central and South American jakes have at getting their kids back unless Esau gives them back to them? None. A father from Honduras who came to the United States with his family to seek asylum was so distraught after he was separated from his wife and child that he killed himself while he was left alone in a jail cell last month. Again, Deuteronomy 28 talks about it more than once that the Israelites would have their children taken away from them, which brings me to Deuteronomy 28, verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, such as this Honduran man who wasn't able to enjoy his family, and so he killed himself, for they shall go into captivity, such as those prison camps. In another case, a mother from Honduras who came to the U.S. seeking asylum with her family said she was breastfeeding her infant at a detention center when her baby was suddenly taken away from her with no warning and no explanation. And back in Deuteronomy 28 and 32, Slakia, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. When they decided to take her baby from her, there was nothing she could do about it. A former employee of one of the detention centers is now speaking out after he said he quit in protest after he saw how horrific the process was for the children. Antar Davidson said he watched young children being ripped from their parents and sent to a detention center where in some cases no one spoke the same language they did. Davidson claimed the facility was understaffed, the employees lacked the proper training, and as a result, the children were extremely traumatized. He also said the workers were underpaid, while the CEO and his wife clear more than $1 million a year in mostly federal tax money and undercut the services we need. It's a basic private prison deal in the guise of this shelter, Davidson said. So the people at the end of the day, when they have put the kids to sleep, have already worked an 8-hour shift and are oftentimes asked to stay overtime. On top of that, these kids are running up and down the halls screaming, crying for their mom, throwing chairs. Everyone is tired. The undertrained staff is dealing with an increasingly traumatized population of minors. As the Free Thought Project has reported, while there have always been people seeking asylum in the U.S. from other countries, it should be noted that the war on drugs in the United States has contributed both to violence in the countries immigrants are seeking asylum from and an increase in drug trafficking over the border that has resulted in all migrants being treated like criminals. Former Congressman Ron Paul noted last year that the war on drugs has produced no benefit to the American people at a great cost, and just as with the welfare magnet, there is an enormous incentive to smuggle drugs into the United States. This is also the troubling concern over what is happening to the immigrant children who are separated from their parents. While the idea of an innocent child being locked in a cage is troubling, it is not the worst fate many of the children are subjected to. The Health and Human Services Department recently admitted that nearly 1,500 immigrant children have gone missing, and many of them are suspected to have been kidnapped by human traffickers. And I read in another article that said that when you watch footage of these prison camps with these migrant children, you only see boys and that you don't see girls or babies, which is a very good point. So just think about that. But as we can see, prophecies are just beginning to come to pass, and that it's just more of an indication that this Bible is the truth. So with this video, I hope you brothers out there were edified. Ababa Ball, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.